Hey guys, it's DC here. Today I'm talking with Maxim Silev. Maxim, how's it going?
Very good. Well said.
That's good. Tell us a bit about yourself. I'd like to give you the chance to introduce yourself to all of the viewers here.
I'm a techpreneur. I have some background in security, about 15 years. And some part of this time I'm running businesses and my own projects over about 7 years. So what I do now is researching and engineering, mostly come to blueprinting and modeling. That's what I do in my daytime. I do this with the help of my team, which consists of analysts, software developers, and engineers. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So I guess what then are your interests, or what exactly do you do for a living then?
I run some projects like VPN services, data analytics services, and authentication platforms. So there are several tools, several products I've developed for last 5 years. So 5 years of research. Yeah.
Okay, so sort of like a security researcher type position is sort of what you would class yourself as.
Network security researcher combined to behavioral analytics, combined to artificial intelligence and psychology.
Gee, okay, so quite a lot. That's quite a lot in there.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, and then I guess what sort of services, you mentioned your businesses there, you have a few different interesting topics. So what services do those businesses provide?
First, I wanted to start from hackthebox.eu. This is a distributed VPN service. We run VPN service on users' machines. The traffic can go through user machine and then find a way out. And that's the problem we're trying to solve here, is to first make everyone earn money by selling their bandwidth, internet package access. And the second one is for customers to obtain a residential IP address. Okay. Many popular services, they usually track data center IP addresses, and if they found them, they just lock registration or whatever. So our goal of our service is to avoid this.
Yeah. Okay. With that VPN, do you know if it's likely to work in China? Because I go to China fairly often, and finding a VPN that consistently works over there seems to be pretty tricky for me. I usually use more like sockets as a solution for getting the internet, as I know it anyway.
Yes, absolutely. Because of the entry point is random, totally random.
Okay.
It comes from user's computer.
Interesting. Okay, that's pretty cool. So I guess what is that all of the businesses, or that's just the VPN one that you mentioned?
No, just about VPN.
Okay.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, what's the others?
Yeah, I have SmartView platform. That is really more scientific than VPN. That's comes from retail. Imagine that's a camera in the some store floor.
Yep.
And you'll see it tracks customer behavior, customer route on the trading floor, and then we can advise in real time all the sellers, all the shopping assistant, advise that this customer is interested in such sort of things. We'll build a model which classifies customer, and we are looking for some sort of classification of these customer and sorting them out. Okay. After customer triggers a certain behavior, the advisor can come to it in real time and say, okay, you're interested in Apple production. Okay, we can offer you iPhone for free, take now, pay later. For this, right? There's a discount. Yeah.
Interesting. That could also help with something like if you wanted to draw up like a heat map to help someone design their store better. maybe they want to move the furniture around to have a better user experience in the store. I guess it could also be used for something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool. Yeah, that's super fun. I did see some technology like that. Fairly recently. It seemed pretty cool. It didn't have like facial recognition or anything in it though. It was just more tracking where the people were and, like I said, creating like a heat map around where that all is. But yeah, that'll be a very fun project to work with, I think. What's some of the other services you're providing?
As next one, I will mention a finance modeling tool. We built a series of robots, trading robots, to analyze market data. So this strategy works now, and it's a separate project I do. It's my kind of pet project. So just about trading cryptocurrencies and so on. Yeah.
That sounds interesting. Yeah. So it's like a bot for working out where the market's going and working out the trajectory and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. To predict the market, to predict entries.
Awesome. Does it work?
Yeah.
It sounds awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It works.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not trying to take the piss or anything. I'm just curious because, if you can predict where the market's going, then technically you have access to unlimited amounts of money potentially. If it's correct, I guess it can't always be correct though, right? Yeah,
up
pretty
to
close to
extent.
it. Yeah, of course. Okay, are there any other services?
The last one I want to mention is authentication platform. We built some recently that's to avoid traditional authentication, like a password, to keep everything in your phone, but it's too young to discuss it seriously.
Okay.
It's just another experimental project I do.
Cool. So like a password manager.
It's not a password manager actually. It's just an authentication tool. Everything is in your phone. Yeah, okay. And we have our phone with us at any time, so we are able to not to store passwords.
Cool. Okay. Let's get on to some of the questions that my viewers have asked me to ask you. So I'll start with the first one, which is which kinds of security do you see?
That's a very good question. The first is I would split it into three categories: the home security, business and enterprise security, and government security. The home security is what all we are facing and where we are home users. Here, there's sort of targets for attackers, like what can attackers make with us, right? They can steal our money, they can impersonate us, or illegally use our computer power. All others are derived from these three items. So the more rare case of this is someone's home computer is a target to take advantage of someone's business. Like it's a so-called trampoline model. Like when we attack home computer and then to get some business passwords or whatever. It's so to avoid this, I think it's pretty easy to keep antiviruses up to date. That's web hygiene. Do not open something phishing sites or whatever. Use a VPN.
That's it.
That's relatively easy. The most interesting thing here is business and enterprise security, which is very important. And many attack tools are targeting this sector. The prices are higher than in home security, and it can result to a company bankruptcy. The money can be stolen into corporate account. That's the first one, or some internal information could be disclosed about the company. So it's some company secrets. Like if someone can predict Microsoft is going to purchase a part of Nokia Corporation in the near future, it happened several years ago. Attacker can earn money just buying and holding Nokia's shares. That's pretty easy. Yeah, it's just a piece of information we need to know, and we're lucky. Okay, and the And the another example is more severe. When there's a real example from real life, a chief engineer of some big hardware vendor was looking for a cheap vendor to arrange some chips, and he got a phishing page, which led to signing a contract with other company on much less attractive term, and eventually brought attackers billions of dollars. One phishing page.
That's pretty. So just one phishing page got him billions of dollars. That's crazy.
Yep.
Which
one successful attack. Yeah.
Wow, just one. Usually you wouldn't earn that much money off a single phishing attack. Normally it works out to be others, but I guess there's other ways there's more than one way to skin a cat, basically.
For business, I would add that the attacks are usually crafted individually, and I heard examples when zero-day exploits were created just for one single attack. So the standalone thing from there is government securities. The price of this could be even more important than a business, but they use some sort of protection. They use air gaps. Internal computers never interact with internal computers. So external never interact with internal, so-called air gap. Access restriction. So as a government servant, you cannot access some resources inside. And of course, all the people who work in some government organization are patriots.
For sure, yeah. So what about on the enterprise level then? Or I guess that sort of covers everything between business and government. So
I just combine them together. I just combine business and enterprise because they're pretty close.
Okay, cool. On to the next question, which is security threats for ordinary users. What do you think are the main security threats that can impact pretty much everyone?
I would like to mention two. That's payment details, online payments, fake bank transactions, which results as people losing their money, and sometimes these transactions are reversible. Like I told bank that one transaction was fraud, so someone stole my account, personal details, and they usually revert that.
Usually,
and the second one is usually, sometimes. But the second one is character impersonation, of creating fake characters. So when I'm acting like someone else from someone else's account. So the threat here is that your personal details can come into dark market of characters or passport scans. Or
that's it. Yeah. Through methods of like OSINT or other methods of gaining that information.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to add: if someone home attackers, if they, in most cases, it's enough to use VPNs, which are located in other countries, which are politically independent from the country where attack takes place. The security of the attacker. Of course, attackers should think about their security, and in most cases, it's enough to use VPN.
In most cases, I think a VPN is pretty good for basic protection, I guess. But there's no such thing as too much, I guess, unless it's impacting usability. In which case, then things change a little bit. Yeah. Okay. On to the next question. You mentioned earlier cryptocurrencies and trading and predicting the market. How are these irreversible?
Irreversibility has roots in the blockchain nature, which is covered under the hood of any modern cryptocurrency. Once that are put in blockchain, which is below the cryptocurrency sign, so it's confirmed and mined. So they appear as in the record in the whole blockchain, and it's impossible to revert the situation without breaking the blockchain entity. So the only way to get your stolen crypto assets back, once someone stole it from you, is to ask the thief to return it, which is
probably not going to happen.
Yeah. He's on his goodwill. So
it depends how generous they feel on that particular day, I guess. But anyway, Okay, so what is the job of a security researcher like, and what does that involve?
I've seen a lot of security researchers of many kinds. Some of them focus on application security. They analyze application behavior with debugger, with some external factors, and they they try to understand the connection between inputs and outputs of the application most,
Yep.
and find some fundamental relations within. So how to put at most time they act like testers, like external testers. They put some data in input and expect getting some wrong output. Once it happens, they dig it deeper.
Yep.
Yeah, some others do network analysis. It's building a digital fingerprint of user and his activity. That's what I did. That's very interesting kind of job. I love it.
Okay, jumping over to programming languages. The next question is, which Python class would you use in machine learning? It's a bit of a loaded question.
Yeah, machine learning is very broad thing, and we need to keep in mind that Python and machine learning are just tools. As tool set is defined when we decompose a task and build a flow. So once we get requirements, we need to decompose a task to build classes and then define the way how we are trying to solve it. I don't have a favorite tool because all these are necessary.
It sort of depends on, I guess, which tool is right for the job.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it is. Each at this time. And when we start practicing with machine learning, we can start from random forest to XGBoost. But it's, at any time, it primarily depends on which task we are going to solve.
Right. Okay, the next question was region specific, and it says, what are your views on privacy laws in Europe, specifically the CIS region?
Yeah. As I'm originally from CIS region,
yeah.
My point of view here is that they are going to the right direction, but the process itself is very, very, very slow due to the nature of people who live there, some activity of the societies. They are not open to fast changes, and single point here is access restrictions. You heard about some countries empowering, enforcing the access restrictions for the citizens inside country to block certain resources. That is only one goal, to accumulate and to keep political power as long as possible.
Right.
I think there's no significant reason other than that.
Okay, fair enough. So just going back to something a little bit more technical, we've been talking a little bit about machine learning and AI. The next question was, what do you think about quantum security? Do you think maybe just bringing in AI with quantum security, do you think AI will potentially take over the quantum security scene? Or like, what's your views, I guess, first on quantum security, and then we'll dig down a little bit into how AI might potentially impact that industry?
The quantum security is actually not linked to AI. It's more, they are separate things at most. Quantum security is more about future technology, while AI is current technology.
That's it, yeah. I was talking more about the link between, when there is a link in, I guess, automation of tasks using quantum computing.
We can focus then on quantum security. That's because quantum computing is a really broad area. Yep. It has many things in common with traditional computing, but many things different. But the security is quite different. And automation of security is so automation of some sort of protection. That's important.
Yeah.
I think quantum security itself will become important in several years. Maybe not now, but in 10 years and 5 years. Currently, some governments and big enterprises run quantum computers. That's a fact. But it's still expensive to break user security using a quantum computer.
Yeah.
One single user. Yeah. By the way, technologies grow, and even Facebook owns its own onion domain of 14 characters long, which is impossible to generate using one farm of servers.
Yeah.
Because it requires a huge power and several million PC years to calculate the 14 characters domain in onion.
Yeah.
14 of 16, right?
Something like that, yeah. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, and I think we also move to quantum resistant technologies, but it's a continuous process. It's not one. It's not happened suddenly. It will happen during some period of time, like several years. So no one will wake up and understand that they are hacked by a quantum computer.
That's it. Yeah, it's not going to happen overnight. It's a gradual process. It's going to take years to come around, and you'll know about it before it does, basically.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
okay. Yeah. Did you want to expand on that at all, or just leave it at that?
Wanted to add a bit. When 25 years ago, Bill Gates said that 340 kilobytes is enough for everyone.
Yeah, I know this quote. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the same happens to quantum computers now. As traditional computing is enough for everyone, but currently, no one knows what will happen in 5-10 years.
Yeah, I don't know though. It takes quite a while to render some of my videos with a traditional like 8 gig of RAM. So maybe I need a quantum computer to push me over the edge of rendering.
It's quite expensive for now.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think YouTube's going to pay for that for me, unfortunately. But anyway, yeah, that's all the questions I had for you here. Thanks for coming on and having a chat. It's been great to learn about AI and machine learning and quantum computers and all of your projects which you're currently working on. I'd love to hear a little bit more about them another day, so I'll have to tee up another time to talk to you about those then.
Okay.
Yep. Cool. Thanks, mate.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.